Thank you all for joining me today in this episode, another 820 installment. Every 820 episode, including this one, only intends to remind you, to guide you, to suggest to you the direction and the depth of your resilience. As I've said before, I cannot change your life, but I guarantee to change your perspective on this present moment. Last opening question for you today. Do you know where your heart is? Let's keep it at 820. Today, let's talk about the resilience inside. The resilience inside, and that is common to you and I. Even though I hope to give you something of value, not with empty words, hopefully some words or a word or two that resonate with you. I have nothing here for you to see, since we're doing mostly audio in the 820 Enterprise, but nothing here for you to say or to buy. I'm talking about the infrastructure, the inside work that I always speak about in the 820 the 820 Enterprise, And this infrastructure of resilience is common to you and I and everyone you will meet on your journey each day. But also common is our reluctance to take a look inside of us individually, respectively, respectfully. We find it much easier to point fingers, assign blame, and define the outside issues as outside of us. Even though whatever we encounter on our respective journeys present to us some personal reflection or guidance or our signpost for us to at least remain aware of, take note of, and maybe use as a reference moving forward. Always moving forward. But when we seriously consider the inside perspective and the perspective of the present moment that I guarantee to change for you in this discussion, that's where also the internal resistance appears. It's too hard to do. No one's going to care or notice this work. What's the point? I offer to you an opportunity to reset that knee-jerk reaction and limited vision to the point, the reason, the care, the core, and the ease of this work. The audience for this discussion on resilience remains very small, yet very significant, meaning that audience is really only you and your creator, me and my creator. That's why you do the work and the purpose and the message, to complete it as you were created for perfect. He or she or it, however you define your creator, along with you, will notice the discovery, the active discipline and development of your progress in your best each day. Notice, I did not say you're better each day. I said your best. Just your best, and without any comparison or competition with yourself from yesterday, even today, or definitely not for tomorrow. And that brings us to the point, the new needed perspective for you and I to continue to discover and develop as one singularly, and then maybe as two together. But first, as fully one alone before you can add your one to my one. Otherwise, the equation and the combination will fail and clash. In the book, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, you can use the models in that book as suggestions, if nothing but as guidance and signposts to notice as you proceed forward and with your own resilience. Remember, I'm trying to emphasize the resilience inside of you and I. So let me leave you with this another perspective from Mr. Ryan Holiday, the man who puts out the Stoic philosophies and recollections from Marcus Aurelius and other philosophers back in the day who were proponents of Stoicism. Listen to this from Mr. Ryan Holiday. Quote, "The world is full of mysteries. There is so much to learn, so much to discover. There are libraries of things to read about. Every day brings countless news stories to follow. When did the universe begin? How big is it? Do UFOs exist? What's going on with this scandal or that one? Who do you think is to blame for this or that? What will be the effect of this new policy? What did the new studies say?" While the Stoics were certainly curious and intellectual people, they tried to ignore a lot of this. Why? Because they had plenty of other questions they needed answers to first. Questions that pertained more to self-awareness and self-actualization than to being informed. In fact, I am dealing with these more important issues, Seneca wrote. The ones that soothe the mind, and I investigate myself first and then the cosmos. Look, the man was a plugged-in power broker who also published a multi-volume series on natural history and biology, so he was hardly ignorant. He just tried to remind himself that his first job was to understand himself, was to solve the problem of living before he distracted himself with the issues of the universe. In our very busy, very noisy, and very confusing modern world, this is a great model to follow. We ought to investigate ourselves first. Get to the bottom of what's happening in here first, rather than obsessed about and despair over what's happening out there. Unquote. So I'm asking you to stay inside, not in your house or in your closet. Inside with your focus on your best in each day and in each moment. And then take your best outside each day and in each moment. Don't wait for a trauma or an emergency to make that happen. Treat this moment, this present moment, as precious, as fleeting, and as no guarantee for more of these happening for you. But use the time that we are able to share air and blood and this heartbeat to do that work. Not that hard. But you'll find that internal resistance. I'm asking you to address that, to look at it clearly and squarely and say, I have something to do here. I have value here. I have a desire. I have a discipline. I have a drive. Not one given to me. I have one that I must deliver to make good on what I was brought here to do. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, please remember that it's always 8:20.